Wow, it took a long time to come on, but it looks like it's been on 15 seconds. Looks like it's a go. All right, we're live tonight on this Thursday evening, April 13th, 2023. It's 9:52 p.m. Central Time. Hope you all had a wonderful day. I had a good day. Hope you did too. I actually had a long day. I went always down to the cities. Went down to by the Mall of America. It was a long drive. I had a lot to do today. So I got home late, actually not that long ago, and my phone only had 4% on it, on this phone. This is the one I do my live streams on. And I left it at home today, and it was dead when I came home. So anyway, forgot about that. So I got 26% on my phone. I hope it holds out. This is the only phone that I can stream from, which isn't even hooked on anything, but it works. So it picks up StreamYard, and that's all that matters. So anyway, so here we are. Shalom, shalom. Continuing in Daniel. Let's see. What are we doing? 3, 1, 2. Okay, so we're doing 5 and 6 tonight. I'm gonna hit the volume off. Otherwise, it's gonna start echoing here. So obviously, they don't have tonight's stream up here. I'm gonna have to reload it. There it is. There's tonight's stream. Yes, chapter. There it is. Book of Daniel, chapters 5 and 6. That looks like that's the plan. I'm gonna pull that up so I can see everything. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm glad I pulled this up because I'm going to and by the way, that's why I'm late coming on, because just an hour ago I thought, oh, I wonder if that phone has any juice in it, and I looked and it was almost dead. And in an hour and 10 minutes, it's only gotten up to 26%. So we'll see if it holds out. It's plugged in. I don't know if the charge will actually go up, but hopefully it'll maintain at least, right? 26% will do, as long as it stays, at least stays at that. Not even asking for anything more than that, just as long as it doesn't die on me before I get done here tonight. So anyway, so I got home really late. Yeah, but you know what's really cool? I got home late, but it was still light out. It's still light at 8 o'clock, so that's really cool. Oh, it would have been so pitch black any other time before now. It gets so dark out here, you can't even see 1 foot in front of the other. Anyway, so yeah, I got home late, so then my doggies were going crazy. They're not usually home alone for 8 hours, which is how long I was gone. So they went crazy when I got home. Then they wanted to eat and all that stuff. So anyway, here we are. So anyway, but I do have Daniel's pretty simple to pull up because it has no contradictions. Well, it has 3. It has 1 at the beginning and 2 at the end. I think it was the first chapter. Yeah, it was. It was the first chapter, I think, or something. There was 1 small contradiction. It's kind of funny. I don't want to jump ahead, but the next 2 contradictions are at the end, and it has to do with what's the end chapter? Chapter 12. And everybody knows the famous Daniel 12:10. I'll pull it up in case anybody doesn't. But But anyway, that's where there's, and that's the only, well, there's not many scriptures in the Old Testament about resurrection or afterlife or anything like that. Not like the New Testament. Lots about Daniel's 12:10. Daniel 12:10.
According to Bible, many will be purified, made spotless and refined, but the wicked will continue to be wicked. None of the wicked will understand, but those who are wise will understand.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another one. Anyway, it's just funny because the two about there's two scriptures that to this day contradict other things too. And you can see why, I can see why the Pharisees and the Sadducees had a disagreement over the afterlife, because it is contradicting. So, and that's long before the New Testament was even written. Now you talk about contradictions. Yeah, New Testament. Yeah, that's a lot going on there. But even in the Old Testament, there's a few contradictions, and but Daniel is probably the least amount of contradictions I've seen on any book so far. I don't think we've ever seen a book with only 3 contradictions, and some books, no, not even books. I'm talking chapters. There are certain books where one chapter has a mile-long list on one chapter. So anyway, so Daniel doesn't really have that many contradictions, but surprise, surprise, it is one of the things they've always. One thing that split them is one of the things that is what one of the scriptures about the afterlife. So anyway, and you know what? Nobody's been there and can tell us for sure. So I wouldn't bank on anybody's opinion, because we have no 100% proof of what happened. So there's nobody that came back all gray and skeleton and said that they've been there or whatever. I'm not sure what that would look like. Anyway, maybe a ghost. Oh, speaking of ghosts, one of my favorite chapters. Actually, I like a lot of Daniel. They're interesting stories. Let's say that. One of the interesting stories is one of my favorites is the handwriting on the wall. I just talked about it the other day. That's where that saying comes from. Can't you see the handwriting on the wall? Well, that comes from the story that we're going to read tonight in chapter 5. The handwriting on the wall, where a big giant ghost hand starts writing on the wall. It's actually the hand of God. I think it was the hand of God or angel or something. But anyway, it was telling him he's gonna die. Anyway, and as always, nobody could read except Daniel. He's like, Daniel, what does it say? He's like, oh yeah, I'm not sure you want to know this one. Anyway, I like that. In fact, I even picked out a picture for it. Here, I'll show you. Anyway, it might turn up blue. I might have to go to another screen. Oh, it's not too blue. Not yet. Crank it up a little bit. There you go. The handwriting on the wall. Many, M-E-N-E. Many, I can't remember. Oh, anyway. The king's like, oh crap. Everybody's like, what is that? Anyway, it was a floating hand, and it was writing on the wall. And I think it said, you're going to die tonight. And then, yeah, he died. Well, would I just spoil it in case anybody didn't see it yet? Spoiler alert, the king dies in this story, okay? One of the kings. Don't worry, there's more kings to come. Anyway. So, but this is one of my favorite stories. I think it's funny. And this is where the saying comes from: the handwriting on the wall. Can't you read the writing on the wall? But speaking of which, they're so weird. Back in like 2015, that guy that lived in I can't remember if it was Apple Valley. No, I think it was Cottage Grove. Anyway, it was making a movie about what's going on with the .gov. Anyway, in the Mart law. Anyway, no, I think he did live in Apple Valley. I can't remember, but anyway, somewhere down that area, close to me. I mean, not too far from where I live. Anyway, he was murdered and his family in his own house, and they made it look like he did it, the husband, and they made it look like he went crazy. It was on the news that he must have snapped or something, and he killed his wife and then himself. But anyway, but you could tell that like there was bullet holes all over, like they were being chased. Anyway, so on the wall, and I've seen this in other like questionable murders where you'd think, I wonder if it just doesn't seem right. But anyway, the guy happened to be working on an anti-government film, right? Anyway, so who knows what happened? But anyway, on the wall, they put, or whoever killed him put Allah Akbar or something like that, like to make him look even worse. And it was written in either spray paint or blood. No, I don't think blood. I think they spray painted it. I can't remember. Because there's been other stories that were like that. Anyway, I was doing a job like 2 blocks from there. And this is just, I don't know, 2 summers ago. It was during the COVID thing. So I thought, wow, that's right down where that murder house was. So I thought, I'm going to, when I get done with the job, I'm going to drive by there. Hi, Dee, how you doing tonight? I thought when I get done with this job, and it was a real quick job, I just had to load up some stuff out of somebody's garage and get some stuff out of the yard. And then I looked it up on the GPS. I was 2 blocks away, 2 blocks from this murder house. So I thought, I'm going to go take a video of it. And as I started turning on the block, the whole block is filled with like city people. Like it's like I can't remember if they're working on the street or cutting trees down. Or, I can't remember, but I took a video of it. It's in my file somewhere. And anyway, I drove by the house, and there it was, just like it was in the newspaper. It was in all the local news and I'm sure national news. But anyway, there the house that stood out like a sore thumb, and I drove by it, and then I think I turned around and drove by again. I can't remember. Anyway, I got a video of it, but there were so many people like working on the street and stuff. I looked really out of place doing that. They were looking like I'm in their way and stuff. So, anyway, it wasn't real ideal to be videotaped, but I did get a videotape. It's on my file somewhere. Anyway, and then the weird thing about that, so he writes on the wall, like Allah Akbar, just to make him look even worse or crazy or whatever. Anyway, I think it was a triple homicide, not a double. I think it was an all killed person. That's my opinion. Anyway, there was another one. It was just like it. It was on Joyce Myers. You know who Joyce Myers is? She's a TV preacher lady. Anyway, Joyce Myers, I think she's in Florida. I think her headquarters is in Florida, whatever. Anyway, she's got bodyguards and security, right? Well, one of the security guys, like when they're on a tour or something, he hooked up with his wife's best friend from high school, and anyway, they started having an affair, and he decides that the wife has to go because if you work for Joyce Myers Ministry, you cannot. I think you cannot get divorced. They got ruled. If you get caught in adultery, you get fired. If you get divorced, I don't know. Anyway, Joyce Meyer's got like these really strict rules about people's lives that work for her. Anyway, so he didn't want to get fired from his job, so he thought the only thing left, he's got to kill her. So he kills her and does the same thing. Like, I don't know if he spray painted, but he wrote on the wall also, made it look like I don't know if he did Allah Akbar, but something like to make it look like a crazy person did it. But that's what they do. If you want to make somebody look crazy, then the murderer have them write on the wall something just outlandish. And anyway, it instantly like makes the person that even worse than they are. You know what I mean? It vilifies a person. So anyway, it reminds me of the writing on the wall. I always think of these murders when they write on the wall. But anyway, it seems like writing on the wall never ends well, and neither does this story tonight. This writing on the wall does not end well. I don't think it ever does. Is there any good writing on the wall? I don't know. You have to let me know. You're doing okay? Awesome. Happy Thursday. I had to come on late because my phone was completely dead. I was out of town all day. I drove all the way down by Mall of America, which is in Bloomington, Minneapolis over there. That was I drove all day. Just got back. So my phone was completely dead. So I charged it enough, and it's at 28% now. I've gone up 2%. So anyway, so otherwise I probably would have came on 15, 20 minutes earlier. If I come on and it's only 5 or 10%, it's not enough. It sucks it down really fast, like 5 minutes. If I don't have it over 20%, I can't go live because it's not enough to maintain it. As anybody knows who does live streams or have even if you've even been a guest on a live stream, you'll know it sucks your battery dry fast. Really eats up the battery. But anyway, so that's the story tonight. We're gonna do Daniel 5 and 6. 5 is the writing on the wall. Anyway, so that's the plan for tonight. I put on a lot of miles today. I was gone all day. It was a long day. I left at noon. I got back like 8. So yeah, it was a lot of driving. All right, so we're gonna get through this. And did you have a good day today, D? I hope so. So that is the plan. 2 more chapters tonight, 5 and 6. 5 is the writing on the wall. Hopefully it all fits in the screen here. I got it cranked up pretty high. What is it? 400%? I don't know. Let me see. How many percent is it? That was 200%. Not bad. If I do it anymore, then it starts it rearranges the whole structure of it. It starts going in a square, and it goes anyway. It restructures all this if you go any higher. So all of a sudden, the rectangle now is a square, and you got double, triple. Anyway, it doesn't work out good if it goes any bigger than this. So this is usually where it goes. About halfway cranked up. So anyway. Well, hey, John, how you doing tonight? You had a good day? Awesome, D. Hey, it was almost 90 degrees in the cities, and it was like 81 up here. Good to see you tonight, John. Are you having some nice weather too? You know, it's so weird, John. I still have mountains of snow here and there, and it's in the 80s. So shorts, t-shirt, outside barbecuing, and there's snow everywhere. It's so bizarre. I don't know if I've ever happened. It's really weird. windows wide open because it's hot out, but there's snow everywhere. It's just weird. Hope you had a great day. I did. I had a great day. Yeah, I drove all the way from northern Minnesota down to Mall of America in Bloomington. Not to the Mall of America. I won't go near there. Hopefully forever. Again. It's just a giant mall, folks. That's all it is. But anyway, a friend of mine lives right by Mall of America. She's retired. And anyway, I really like visiting her. Her husband passed away a couple years ago. I've talked about that. But anyway, she's doing really good. And anyway, it was I like visiting her. I don't get to see her very often, so I went down there. I had to do quite a few things in the cities today. Well, not a lot, but anyway, I made a nice. I did a route because usually I got a few things to do when I go to the city, so I made a nice route. That I don't usually go into Minneapolis. I don't usually because that's it's hard. But anyway, it worked out great. And it was so sunny, you guys. It's in the 80s. You guys know we've had nothing but blizzards and ice and everything. It's been in the 80s, you guys, for a couple days. It's amazing. I can't even tell you how refreshing it is. Man, the dogs are loving it too. Spring is finally here. I know, right, John? And I don't think it's coming back because sometimes April can be tricky, but no, I think it's good. I think it's good. We've got kind of a little flooding here and there, but because it's a lot of we had like a record amount of snow, almost all-time record amount of snow, and it's all melted really fast. In the 80s, it went from 30s up to 80s real quick, so it all melted fast, and now there's certain places that are flooding, but we're doing good here. The yard will soak it up here and there. It just takes a little time, you know how it is. I saw when I went to the other town the other day. Some they have really long driveways. Like mine's long, but they got really long driveways. And some of their driveway was underwater. I saw a few houses. I thought, oh man, they're kind of trapped at their house for a couple days, unless I don't know, they could maybe get through the water. I don't know. Yes, spring has finally sprung. Tuesday was almost 90, back down to 43. You know what's weird, John? Because we're doing the same thing. Like tomorrow, it's still good. That weather's must be coming this way because we're in the almost 90s, and then we're gonna dip down to cold and rainy over the weekend, just like that 40s, in the 40s and rainy. So it's gonna be a shocker, a good shocker. Now it's gonna be kind of a little bit back to March, April kind of weather. You have kind of the same weather as we do sometimes. And the weird thing is, D sometimes has, like when it's cold here, it gets cold there. And it's when we have a heat wave, she has a heat wave. She gets real cold, we get real cold. So I don't know, we must be in the same, I don't know, strip. Weather, what is it, in the jet stream? Are we in the same jet stream? You guys, so so get this. I gotta say it without getting in trouble. Okay, so you know how during the well, hey Grace, how you doing tonight? Welcome in, Shalom. Hope you had a wonderful day. So you know how during that horrible the illness, okay? So during the illness, the stores want you to wear a face covering, right? A mask. All right. And they said it was a mandate. Okay, it was mandated. Now everybody thought that meant it was a law. A mandate is not a law. Do you know what a mandate is? A mandate is I could look up the definition, but it's like an official order to get. It's officially given permission to do something. All right. So a mandate is officially giving you permission to do something. Now, what were you given permission to do? You were given permission to cover your face. Why? Because it was before that, it was against the law to cover your face. It was against the law to cover your face. All right. So the mandate lifted the law that was there was a law against covering your face. So what the mandate did was it lifted it gave you official permission to break that law. Now you can go into stores with your face covered. You can go into a bank with your face covered. That's what a mandate is. A mandate wasn't a law telling you to do it. It was a law saying, yes, it's okay to do it if you want to. That's what the mandate was. It's okay to do it if you want to. That's why you could go into anywhere without one and nothing happened. All right? That's what a mandate is. Because it was against the law to cover your face and go into stores and certain places, banks and stuff. Well, the mandate lifts that law. And it officially lifts the laws so you can cover your face now, even in a bank. It wasn't an order. It was giving you permission to cover your face if you want. And that's it. Anyway. People think a mandate is a law making you do stuff. No, it ain't. No, it's actually kind of the opposite, ain't it? All right. Oh, all right. So, how was your day, Grace? We all had a great day and we had great weather. And you know what? I already know you had great weather because I was down near the shitties, not by your area, but I was down in, I told him I was in Bloomington. And it was so hot, you guys. I got long pants and boots on because I have to walk through snow and mud to get to my to where in my barn where my garage is. There's nowhere I'm moving, you know what I mean? Anyway, I get down there, it's 80 nights. But I was gone all day. But anyway, I hope you had a wonderful day. I know you had beautiful weather. We are going to get down in the 40s. We're going to get cold and rainy this weekend, but that's okay. It's fun while it lasted. It's going to be nice again tomorrow. Tomorrow's getting ready for Sabbath. And anyway, good day, good week, right? Beautiful day. Spent the day with my son again. He just really awesome. Yeah, I just got home a little bit ago. Awesome. You got to visit 2 days in a row? Well, you are blessed. You are blessed. And your son is blessed too. Because he's got a nice mommy. All right. So, do this. Handwriting on the wall story. One of my favorites. And wasn't it nice out? Oops. Thing. Watch where the mouse goes. So, yeah, we just went to extremely nice weather. Just really unexpectedly. We just kind of expect April can be crappy. Family time is awesome. Yes, right, John? I agree. Super blessed. Any family you can be around. Very blessed. All right. I'm trying to figure out where my key goes back on. I think this one. My keys popped off my computer. My cat went and liked the way it felt when I was sleeping. The cat went and I left my laptop open overnight. Cat goes up there, likes how squishy the keys are, and just plucks them all off when I'm sleeping. I come out the next morning thinking, what in the heck? I got white spots where the keys used to be. So, like, I ripped off a lot of these keys off my. In fact, I'll show you. Ridiculous. I don't know how to put these back on. I don't even know if it's possible. Can people put these back on? I don't know. But you know what? I don't care. Oops. I'm plugged in. See my keyboard? The cat plucked him off with his claws. And you know what? I can't really even for sure say which one it is. I got my suspicions who it was. I think it was well, it could have been any of them, really. Probably most likely, it could have been any of them, really. Yeah, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. No eyewitnesses. Nobody's speaking up. Nobody's coming forward. I don't know. So it is what it is. So anyway, I got a plug-in keyboard. So, bam, problem fixed for. My screen turned blue. Problem was fixed for $10, a $10 keyboard. So I have to retrain the thing how to turn blue, not blue, like that. There you go. Anyway, so yeah, I messed up my keyboard. That was my good laptop too, the one I've had forever. The one Google said wasn't good enough anymore. So what I do, I updated it. I put the update Windows 11. The thing, it's like I gave it chemotherapy, man. It just sucked the life out of it. Anyway, not that chemo was bad. Don't know anything about it. All right. But yeah, once I remember it said I had to download Windows 11 to keep live streaming. Otherwise it won't support it. So what I do, download it. Remember it took like 12 hours or 24 hours or something. It was ridiculous. And once I get Windows 11 downloaded on it, what happened? It's never worked the same. Now it's like I'm on dial-up. It's basically dial-up speed. And then the cat plucked the keys off. I'm like, dang. That was all like in a short amount of time. And right before that was the most rocking laptop I had for a long time. Worked for everything, and all of a sudden got attacked by everybody. Anyway. So, but it's working for this. It works, right? It works. Keyboard problem fixed. $10 or whatever it was. I think it's $10 for a keyboard. And back in business. And I'm not streaming off the laptop. I'm streaming off my phone, a spare phone. You didn't really have to update it. I'm still using Windows 8 and will not change for the world. Well, it said it wouldn't I couldn't get my live stream to go. It said it won't support it anymore. I was using StreamYard on my laptop and it wouldn't support it anymore. So I went on my phone a little bit. I didn't like that. So remember I caved in. It was months ago. I caved in and I said, fine. Because it wouldn't work. I do my live stream about 5 minutes, it would crash. 5 minutes, it was so annoying. It was impossible. So they made it so my live stream wouldn't work. We went through just bull crap. And then so I finally caved in and said, fine, if I download it, then it will work. So, right. So I did. And it did not like that at all. And then did it stream really good? Nope. It did the exact same thing. It just don't do it anymore. So anyway, I'm streaming off my phone. This phone here is a 3G. That's right. I went back to the 3G. Not as a phone, but I bought this. This is like just like an old phone I used to have, an old Samsung. And I bought it on eBay for like $29. Brand new, refurbished, whatever. But it was like new old stock. So it's the new, it was like brand new, but it was like, 6-year-old technology or 7 or 8. I don't know how old that was. But anyway, it's working. So that's what I'm doing. I'm streaming off of a $29 phone. I got off of eBay. And this is a 3G phone. Also, that they said they want it. Now 3G won't work for your phone calls. Believe me, they made sure I knew that. My phone quit working July 1st. So I drove all the way down to the cities. It was like 150 miles down to T-Mobile. No, it was only 100. It was 100 miles down there to T-Mobile, and I had to get a new phone that day. And then I get home, and I got a phone call from I had root growing through my septic line way out in the yard, about 100 feet. There's a tree root growing through. Well, the guy was going to come out and grind through it. You know what I mean? So clear it out, and he had something to grind through it. Anyway, he did it before a couple years ago. Anyway, he was coming back to do that, and he never showed up. And I thought, well, crap, I don't have a phone that works. So I drove all the way down there, came back about 8 o'clock at night, and the guy says, I'm so sorry I'm calling so late. Or he texts, I'm so sorry I'm calling so late, or texting so late. He said, my phone stopped working today. I had to get a new phone. And I said, don't apologize. Mine stopped working too. There was a point where I had to drive all the way to the cities to get them. So anyway, July 1st, they didn't give you a choice. You had to get you had to get no longer 3G. Had to get something better. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Windows, I didn't want to. I held out, but it wouldn't stream anymore. People remember that. It was so annoying. It'd come on like 5 minutes and crash and crash and crash. And it kept saying it doesn't support it anymore. So I saw the warnings for like a whole year. And I just thought, I ain't updating that. And then they get you to where it won't operate. That's how my phone got. Sure beats the phone you were going to buy from someone else. Yeah. Yeah, this one is $29, and it's a Samsung. It's the same one. This is the same phone that I had. That was I had it since I moved up here, and then the screen shattered, and I still used it, and then working for the 3G, so I had to buy a new phone. I had to go to 4G. Oh, we got 5 and 6G or whatever. I don't know. They got more Gs, and I said, no, I don't want more Gs. I want just the next minimal up. So next is 4. So I bought a 4G phone to talk on. Well, then I thought, well, actually, this one worked good for live streams, and I can hook it to my internet at home and use it. And it's got a better camera, and I know how to work it. So yeah, so $29 solved my phone problem. Nice, huh? It looked brand new. I'm pretty sure it was new. It was in a box, like it came from the store. So anyway, it was on California time, and it was hard to get that off. I didn't really know how. Oh, anyway, I should get moving on this because it's 40 minutes into it. All right. I could talk all night. Yeah, because I have. But that's not what we're here for. We're supposed to be reading Daniel, so we'll get on to that. My favorite story, one of them. Now you know where the handwriting on the wall came from if you don't know. But yeah, it does. So yeah, if you want an older phone, go on eBay. They got the old ones brand new still. If you want older technology. Most people never want older. I'm probably the only one that's listening tonight that wants an older phone. Anyway, works good. It's doing its job. I like doing things cheap. I like having good things, but paying little money for it. All right. And of course, there's no contradictions until the end. So we're going to jump right into this, I guess. Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us once again. We thank you for all of our blessings and keeping us safe today and protecting us and gathering us this evening. And we ask for wisdom and understanding as we read tonight. And we also ask for your blessing on this gathering. Amen. All right. So I didn't look at chapter 6, but I know this one's probably about 30 something verses long. So anyway, a lot going on. We've got the handwriting on the wall. I think this is probably the whole chapter because it's kind of a story. I'm sure it's at least the whole chapter. Yeah. All right, Darius comes in, so this is the whole story. All right. All right. So, spoiler alert, don't look. Belshazzar doesn't make it through the story. My profile pic shows writing on the... Does it really? I can't see it. It's too little. Let me see if I can see it in here. Let's see. Oh, here, I know. Oh, wait. Here. I know. Put it up like that. Oh, it does. Can you guys see that? You guys can probably see it on his profile, but I can't. But anyway, look at that. I didn't even know that, John. Thanks for telling us. I can't see it because look, here's what I see. Oops. Dang, I'm plugged in, so I'm trying not to get plugged. I'm at 33%. So see, I can't see on it. See how it's can't see it at all. But when you go over here, look at that. That's cool. Thanks, John. I didn't know that. All right, I'm getting seasick. I gotta shut this thing off here. Wait a second. Stop. Let me off. All right, there you go. All right. Anyway, that is cool. I didn't know that. How long have you had that on there? Yeah. Yep, I can't see it when I look on the icon. My eyes aren't that good. Anyway, that's cool. That's the Greater Key of Solomon. From the Greater Key of Solomon. Really? Hey, John, you know what? We one night I had a stream where I showed that the Freemasons take credit for building Solomon's temple. Did you know that? Wow, that's kind of cool. They were the ones that were the master builders. As a matter of fact, there's a book in the Old Testament that warns against the Masons and the carpenters. They were Freemasons and Jesus was a carpenter. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Can't remember what book it is, but they are warning in the Old Testament about the Masons and the carpenters. Anyway, all right. So I guess we could move on, huh? 45 minutes into it. Keep moving. All right, cool. All right. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. All right. So we have here. So we have the handwriting on the wall, and then of course, who else? Daniel. Daniel interprets the handwriting. Anyway, that's a good story. So, a handwriting on the wall. Let me get this. Hopefully, it's legible. I think there's more to Solomon than they're letting on. You know what I'm saying? I think there's more to Solomon than they're telling us. Because, what's with 1,000 women? You know what I mean, in the Gospel of John, they said it took 46 years to build this temple. No, it didn't. It took 46 years. It took 7 years. But Solomon had to build all them houses and units for all his 1,000 women. So that took another 6 years. So it took a total of 13 years, not 46. Either way, you count the temple or even where all the women lived, it's still quite shy of 46. Anyway, just saying. All right, so here we are. Daniel 5. I should probably write a note that the study starts at 47 minutes. All right. So, all right. So, handwriting on the wall, chapter 5 of Daniel. I am reading on the English Standard Version, ESV. We're in the Blue Letter Bible. One of my favorites. I do like the Bible Gateway. I just got so used to getting kicked off my live stream from pulling up their website. Every single time you pull it up, you had probably 5 minutes before you get knocked off. I've seen the people with the best connections, the huge channels. I remember even hacking the headlines. Never had a problem in her life till she pulled up Bible Gateway and crashed her stream. First time ever. How long did it take to build the cabin in the woods? Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask the builders, it wasn't long. If you have market, it's all biblical. Yeah. Oh, John, don't get me started. We're never going to get to the bottom of this handwriting on the wall thing. Yeah, how long did it take the cabin in woods? Well, maybe it was 46, I don't know, days. How long does it take to build a 20 by 20 cabin? I don't know. I went to Aldi's today. They're out of watermelons for weeks, you said. What's the deal with that? 40 years? Yes, it took 40 years to build those cabins, John. Thank you, Grace. She probably Googled it. It took 40 years to build the cabin in the woods. My cabin in the woods. Except, you know what? He doesn't ever want to go there. He owes somebody money. Anyway, but we'll move on. All right. Yeah, he can't go to the cabin in the woods, so I don't know. All we know is you got to stay out of the bunkhouse, okay? Just stay out of the bunkhouse. Don't even open the door, okay? Something fishy going on there. Cynthia did and lost her mind, remember? Remember? She made a video about it. She went in the bunkhouse and lost her mind. It's like, okay, stay out of the bunkhouse. That'd be my lessons. All right, so, all right, handwriting on the wall. So I'm talking about. All right. 40 years, Gavin in the woods. All right. All right, cool. Handwriting on the wall. You're gonna see. Sometimes I get amped up, and when I get off of here, I go make a video on my other channel. You know what I mean? I get my wheels turning, and I think, hey, wait a minute. Yeah. How long did it take? And then I stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning making a video on my other channel. All right. Anyway. All right. So, handwriting on the wall. It is. Daniel chapter 5. King Belshazzar made a great feast for 1,000 of his lords and drank wine in front of the 1,000. Belshazzar, when he tasted the wine, commanded that the vessels of gold and of silver that Nebuchadnezzar, his father or predecessor, had taken out of the temple. It really was a predecessor. I don't think it was literally his father, was it? I think it was, anyway. So King Nebi, so talking about the vessels that they stole out of the temple, that the father had taken out of the temple in Jerusalem be brought, that the king and his lords, his wives, and his concubines might drink from them. Then they brought in the golden vessels that have been taken out of the temple, the house of God in Jerusalem. And the king and his lords, his wives, and his concubines drank from them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. Immediately, the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote. Okay, real quick. While I'm thinking about it. I know they always put a hand in the picture, but it was only the finger or fingers. Let me show you real quick. Like if you pull up pictures, I get it. You know, I'd probably draw a hand too. But in all fairness, it was just a finger. But if you ever look up these, if you ever look up the picture, the handwriting on the wall in Daniel, they always have a hand. But in all fairness, it was only the finger. So just saying. But watch, every picture has the whole. You know, of course, it's going to be the whole hand. You ain't going to know what a finger is. You know, people might act anyway. Just saying. You'll always see the whole hand. But anyway, immediately the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall of the king's palace, opposite the lampstand. And the king saw the hand as it wrote. Well, I guess there we have. I guess it's the connection of a hand. I guess. Then the king's color changed. His thoughts alarmed him. His limbs gave way. His knees knocked together. The king called out loudly in the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the astrologers. The king declared, in Aramaic it says answered. The king answered and said to the wise men of Babylon, quote, whoever reads this writing and shows me its interpretation shall be clothed with the purple and have a chain of gold around his neck and shall be the third ruler of the kingdom. Then all the king's wise men came in, but they could not read the writing or make known to the king the interpretation. It must say M-E-M-E or something because it's what all the pictures show. And I don't know if they ever really say what language that was in. It must be a mystery language. Then King Belshazzar was greatly alarmed and his color changed, and his lords were perplexed. The queen, footnote says the queen mother, because of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banqueting hall, and the queen declared, quote, "O king, live forever. Let not your thoughts alarm you or your color change. There is a man in your kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods." Footnote says, the spirit of the holy God, one God. You see that? It doesn't say what translation, but most translations or other, I won't say most, other translations say the spirit of the holy God with a capital G. Do you see that? And this is more pagan. This over here, the holy gods with the small g, s. So these are the false gods. And the footnote says some versions say the spirit of the holy God, which would be the true God. Anyway, in the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, were found in him. Same thing there. And King Nebuchadnezzar, your father the king, made him chief of the magicians, enchanters, Chaldeans, and astrologers, because an excellent spirit, knowledge, and understanding to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve problems were found in this Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar, which remember meant king or something like that. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Now, remember, Nebuchadnezzar's gone, and now this is a new king. The new king doesn't know about Daniel. All that Daniel stuff, he got all famous and promoted and all that. That was the old king. So this is a new king. That was Nebuchadnezzar, the first king. I think Daniel lives through 4 kings, doesn't he, in his life? Or I can't remember how many. More than 2, 3, I think. I don't know. Several kings. He in fact, he's in Babylon 70 years, so he went through a few kings during that time. Anyway, so this is a new king that really didn't know about Daniel's gifts or whatever to interpret. Anyway, so here's where Daniel interprets the dream, the handwriting. Then Daniel was brought in before the king. The king answered and said to Daniel, quote, "You are that Daniel, one of the exiles of Judah, whom the king, my father, brought from Judah. I have heard of you that the spirit of the gods is in you, or the spirit of God is in you, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom are found in you. Now the wise men, the enchanters, have been brought in before me to read this writing and to make known to me its interpretation, but they could not show the interpretation of the matter. But I have heard that you can give interpretations and solve problems. Now, if you can read the writing and make known to me its interpretation, you shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold around your neck, and you shall be third ruler in the kingdom." Then Daniel answered and said before the king, quote, "Let your gifts and give your rewards to another. Nevertheless, I will read the writing to the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father kingship and greatness and glory and majesty. And because of the greatness that he gave him, all peoples, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him. Whom he would, he killed, and whom he would, he kept alive. Whom he would, he raised up, and whom he would, he humbled. But when his heart was lifted up and his spirit was hardened so that he dealt proudly, he was brought down from his kingly throne, and his glory was taken from him. He was driven among the children of mankind, and his mind was made like that of a beast, and his dwelling was with the wild donkeys. He was fed grass like an ox, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, until he knew that the Most High God rules the kingdom of mankind and sets over it whom he will. Now, this is in striking contrast to the New Testament, who tells you that Satan rules the world. Satan rules mankind. No, I believe God rules. Anyway. And you, his son, footnote says, or successor, Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. Yeah, it's not like he didn't know what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. I don't know if it's his literal father or his literal dad, or they just mean predecessor. But anyway, his senior, I guess they're trying to say. And yeah, he knew what happened. I'm sure he was already born alive seeing it. Anyway, who wouldn't know what happened, right, to the king and all that? I'm sure that story was quite well known. But you have not humbled, you, Belshazzar, or whatever, and you, his son, Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. But you have lifted yourself up against the Lord of heaven, and the vessels of his house have been brought in before you, and you and your lords, your wives and your concubines, have drunk wine from them. And you've praised the gods of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which do not see or hear or know, but the God in whose hand is your breath, and whose are all your ways, have not honored. You have not honored. Then from his presence the hand was sent, and his writing was inscribed. Oops. And this is the writing that was inscribed. Oh, here's the writing. Many, many, Tekel and Parison. So many, here's the words, many, because you always see in the pictures they write many, many. So here's the words many, or mene, Tekel, and Parison. This is an interpretation of the matter. Many means God has numbered. In the Aramaic, it sounds like numbered. So many, mene, whatever, many, mene, means God has numbered the days of your kingdom and brought it to an end. Tekel. Tekel means you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. Footnote says in the Aramaic, it sounds like weighed. So tekel means you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. You know, which is kind of weird. Because you know how they have them pagan religions and different beliefs and ancient religions? They believe that there's scales, balances, scales, and your heart goes on one and your deeds goes on the other. Something weird like that, but it has to do with tipping the scales for your fate. Anyway, you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. Paris means, or Paris, P-R-E-S, means your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Oh. Perez, singular for Parson, sounds like the Aramaic divided and Persia. So this word right here means Persia divided. And Tekel is the balance that your balance found. And many, so this mene is down here. Where is it? Medes. So I think they're talking about the Medes and the Persians. Okay. It was just a different language. I don't know what language it was. Don't think it was Aramaic. I don't know what language that was. Anyway, obviously it wasn't a language that everybody spoke. I don't even know if it was an official language. I don't know. Anyway, then Belshazzar gave the command, and Daniel was clothed with purple, a chain of gold was put around his neck, and a proclamation was made about him that he should be the third ruler of the kingdom. It's kind of funny because up here, Daniel said he doesn't want none of that stuff. Give it to somebody else, right? Down here, they're putting their hand in all to him, putting around a chain around his neck. Gave him third command, clothed him in purple, gold chain. Anyway, he said he didn't want it. Give it to somebody else. Remember? Like 2 minutes ago. Anyway. But they did it anyway. Anyway, that night, or that very night, Belshazzar, the Chaldean king, was killed. And Darius the Mede received the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So really, it changed. Yeah, 6-1. It's in Aramaic because they have the titles. Interesting. So now Darius the Mede. So it's kind of in a different family or different line or whatever. It's different. A new control, that's for sure. All right. So, handwriting on the wall, not good. All right. Oh, see how these chapters are just so packed. Now look at this story. Now we're in Daniel in the lion's den. You know, most people know this story. This is like one of the most famous stories of the Old Testament. Daniel in the lion's den. And this is a good story when you really need to like I need to kick into high gear with my faith. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm in such a bad Daniel in the lion's den. I need a miracle. I need God to help me. It's kind of inspiring. All right. So anyway, Daniel and the lion's den. There's another doozy. I like this story too. Who doesn't like Daniel and the lion's den? Or Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace turned up 7 times. Even the people stoking the furnace died and burnt up. But they did. So, that's a pretty good story. Anyway, all good. That's what I said about Daniel when we came on with Daniel. They're all good. These are all cool stories, really. I like them all. Anyway, so Daniel and the lion's den. We're at 107. Okay, we'll be fine. Even though I talked a lot before I came on here. All right. Daniel and the lion's den. This is chapter 6, the last one for tonight. Second chapter for tonight and the last one. So it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 satraps to be throughout the whole kingdom. What's a satrap? Anybody know? Where's my thing? Did I look this up last time? I forgot. What's a satrap? What's a satrap?
Here's the definition of satrap, a provincial governor in the ancient Persian Empire.
Okay, it's a governor. Back then. Okay, so it pleased Darius to set up over 120 over the kingdom, 120 governors to be throughout the whole kingdom. And over them, three high officials, of whom Daniel was one, to whom these satraps, the governors, should give account, so that the king might suffer no loss. Then this Daniel became distinguished above all other high officials and governors because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king planned to set over him the whole kingdom. Then the high officials and the governors sought to find a ground for complaint against Daniel with regard to the kingdom. But they could find no ground for complaint or any fault, because he was faithful, and no error or fault was found in him. It's like in politicians, they try to set somebody up, and the guy's squeaky clean. He never does anything wrong. This is what's going on here. Then these men said, quote, "We shall not find any ground for complaint against this Daniel unless we find it in connection with the law of his God." Then these high officials and governors came by agreement to the king and said to him, "O King Darius, live forever." I don't know what throng means. All the high officials of the kingdom, the prefects and the governors, the counselors, and the governors. Oh, wait, it's weird. Why is this a governor and that's a governor? What did the satrap say? Satrap was a governor. A provincial governor. Okay, it's just this. So it's a governor of a province. So a satrap is a governor of a province. The governor is probably a governor of a larger area, I guess. All right, so these are little governors, and that's a big governor. I get it. Councilors and the governors are agreed that the king should establish an ordinance and enforce an injunction that whoever makes petition to any god or man for 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the injunction and sign the document so that it cannot be changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which cannot be revoked. Therefore, King Darius signed the document and injunction. When Daniel knew that the document had been signed, he went to his house where he had windows in his upper chamber open towards Jerusalem. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he had done previously. Then these men came by agreement and found Daniel making petition and plead before his God. Then they came near and said before the king concerning the injunction, "O king, did you not sign an injunction that anyone who makes petition to any god or man within 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions?" The king answered and said, "The thing stands fast, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be revoked." Then they answered and said before the king, quote, "Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, O king, or the injunction you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day." Then the king, when he heard these words, was much distressed in his mind to deliver Daniel. And he labored till the sun went down to rescue him. Then these men came by agreement to the king and said to the king, "Know, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and the Persians that no injunction or ordinance that the king established can be changed." Then the king commanded, and Daniel was brought and cast into the den of lions. The king declared, footnote says, answered, darn it. Come on, y'all. The king declared, footnote says, or he answered and said to Daniel, quote, "May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you." And a stone was brought and laid in the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that nothing can be changed concerning Daniel. Then, if anybody doesn't know what a signet and everything, it's like they put a big clump of wax in the crease of the door, and then the king has like a ring or something with a stamp on it, and with his name or whatever. So it gets stamped with his name. So if that wax seals, but they do the same with letters and documents. But anyway, the king has a seal, so he seals it, the wax, with his signet. And so if it gets broken, you can't fake it and put it back together, right? Nobody has a signet but the king. So anyway, so the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that nothing might be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and spent the night fasting. No diversions were brought to him, and sleep fled from him. Then at break of day, the king arose and went in haste to the den of lions. As he came near to the den where Daniel was, he cried out in a tone of anguish. The king declared, "O Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions?" Then Daniel said to the king, "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they had not harmed me, because I was found blameless before him. And also before you, O king, I have done no harm." Then the king was exceedingly glad and commanded that Daniel be taken up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no kind of harm was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. And the king commanded, and those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and cast into the den of lions, they, their children, and their wives. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions overpowered them and broke all their bones in pieces. Then King Darius wrote to all the peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, quote, "Peace be multiplied to you." Isn't that weird? This is what our pastor used to always say. The pastor in the Lutheran church always said, "Peace be multiplied." He got that from King Darius. Anyway, is he getting that from God? I don't know. My pastor was quoting King Darius. All right. "I make a decree that in all my royal dominion, people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. He who has saved Daniel from the power of the lions." So this Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. So that's Nebuchadnezzar, Darius, and Cyrus. Am I missing one? No, who's handwriting on the wall? Anyway, he goes through several kings before he's let out at he must have been in his 80s, because he went in at young, 16, 17. We don't know. I don't know if it says exactly what age he was, but very young. And he was there 70 years. So even if he was 15, he'd be 85. If he was 15, taken into custody. If he was 20, he would be 20 years old when they took him into Babylon exile. He would have been 90 when he got released. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's why they know that he had to be pretty young, because he was there for 70 years and was already pretty smart and everything when he got there. I don't know. Must be pretty old. Anyway, so that's that. That's the end of that one. You know, it's weird because God also used his finger to write the Ten Commandments on both sides of the tablets. It's like that. Into stone. So it was on both sides of the tablets. I can't wait to put my 10 Commandments up at my gate. I got those 10 Commandments at the thrift shop. I had them like 10 years ago, maybe. No, I had it. It was a long time, maybe 8 years ago. When I lived at my other house, and I wish I still had it, and I always bum me out. But they're expensive to replace. So anyway, I got one at the thrift store for like $3, and now I'm going to put it on my gate. On my gate post. I'll show you real quick. I think I showed you guys already. All right, good night, Dee. Well, thank you for coming in. Thanks for coming in, Dee. Have a good, restful night's sleep. Hope you have an awesome day tomorrow. Yep, I'm going to wrap it up, too. I'll show you my 10 Commandments. Fine. Maybe I just have to show. Yeah, I have a few boxes here. The lady I visited today gave me a bunch of boxes of stuff because she's moving. So I got all my boxes on my table. I'll have to. I'll show you some other time. I'll show you when I put them up. How about that? Yeah, the lady that I visited today, she's selling her house. She's moving into like a kind of like an assisted living or whatever. And anyway, she's moving, so she gave me a bunch of boxes of stuff. It's kind of cool. Um, and I got a new cast iron pan. It's a Wagner too. It's a really nice one. So anyway, that was fun. I had a fun. I went and visited her. Spent some time with her, and I saw a friend, and I did a lot of stuff. It was fun. So anyway, um, yeah, she gave me a bunch of stuff anyway because she's moving. So anyway, it was fun. I'll wrap it up. I'll pray us out, and we will call it a night. And well, hey Patrick, good to see you. I hope you've been doing well. How you doing, Patrick? I hope you had a great day. I hope it's nice and sunny where you are. It's been in the 80s for a couple days here, Patrick. We went from blizzards to 80s. Anyway, I hope it's nice where you're at, and I hope you had an awesome day. I hope everything's going good for you. Yeah, awesome. It's good to see you, Patrick. Um, yeah, I hope everything's going good. Thanks, you too. Yep, everything's going good for me. I had a great day. It was a good week too, right? And then well, it's Friday already, but yeah. I'm really digging the weather. Yeah, sunny, yeah. I'm loving it. It's gonna be cold and rainy this weekend, but hey, we had a great week. It's sunny. I mean, in the 80s. We've been cold in pretty much everybody, but yeah, just it's fun. Anyway, it's good for the weather warms up after the winter. It's a good pickup. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It always energizes me. You know what I mean? Having having nice weather out again. Being able to get outside, fresh air all day instead of being cooped up. You know what I mean? I don't like that. It's been hot here. Good. I hope you like that. It's been hot here too. After the cold, icy, snowy winter, yeah, I'm liking it. Melting the snow fast too. I got some big piles left, but yeah, I got here late. Daniel is an interesting part about. Yeah, I was just saying that every chapter's got really cool stories. We got the writing on the wall. That's what we did tonight. The writing on the wall, the handwriting on the wall. Um, Daniel in the lion's den. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace. They got put in the oven. They lived. Daniel lived. Spoiler alerts. Lots, and then the end. At the end is a little bit of prophecy, but anyway, it's pretty cool. I like it. Lots of cool stories in it. You know, interesting. But yeah, anyway, but we're still happy to see you tonight, Patrick. Thanks for stopping in. Um, yeah, it's a fun book. It's only 12 chapters long, you know what I mean? So it doesn't take that long. And it's like every time I read it, I see something new. You always learn something new, but anyway, okay. Well, good night to Patrick. Good night to everybody. All right. Good night to Patrick. Good night to Grace. Good night to Dee. Good night to John. Good to see John. Glad you're warming up too. Yeah, it's those of us up in the north. It is such a nice relief to have spring finally here. Anyway, all right. Well, it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good to see you too, Patrick. All right, love, blessings to you too, Grace. Good night, everybody. Good night. Thank you for coming in. Good night to Che and his wife and his bride and Pinch. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And anybody else that's listening, Chris, my sister, she says she listens in. Good night to Chris. I hope you're having a good evening. And everybody else. And I hope you have an awesome day tomorrow. The comments aren't scrolling up. But anyway. All right. All right. Sounds good. All right, you guys. God bless each and every one of you. Praise and glory to God. Hallelujah and shalom. And I hope you have an awesome day tomorrow. I hope to see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow will be Sabbath open chat. All right, good night, everybody. Shalom. Glory to God. Hallelujah.